everybody. Today, we're going to talk about some of the most important ways that you can connect with your personal partner. Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. There's so many ways to have meaningful connections and, conversations with your personal partner. Partnership is an understanding between two people. It's that special connection, right? It's your relationship that's different than any other relationship, which is so exciting. I love that, right? So,
absolutely.
Here's a few tips. So let's start off with a few tips about how to really nurture this partnership and what you can do to really support it. So the number one tip is make time for each other. Make time for each other. Make each other a priority. Take time out of every day, every week to connect, to be curious, and to really nurture one another.
I think this is so important. And I think one of the things that makes this happen is actually scheduling the time for it. I know for both of you and I, we have intentional time, especially on the weekends with our partners, where we set that time aside specifically to go out, to have fun, have that moment of adventure, have that moment of discovery, find that new place to eat at, find that new place that you've always been talking about. Hey, we should go check this out one day. And I think when you don't schedule it, that's when it doesn't happen. How many times does it happen? Because it's not intentional time that's set aside for that and it's not scheduled. So I think if you are wondering and asking yourself, like, yeah, we never have time, ask yourself if you are even scheduling it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's tip number 2. Take the opportunity to understand each other's values and beliefs. Oh my gosh. How often do we talk about values and beliefs, Jen?
All the time. That's how important it is.
That's right. Oh my gosh, all of the time. And let me tell you, this is your foundation. This is what's going to bring meaning and understanding to your relationship. This is also going to help guide that relationship. These are qualities that you live by and that you feel deeply about. So because of that, don't you want to know your partner's core values and beliefs? It would only make sense, right? So I think this is a biggie. So understand what your core values and beliefs are and understand what your partners are. And then also understand, here's the key, understand where they intersect, where you have common core beliefs and values.
Yes. I'm going to make a plug for Summer's book. Oh, page 57. 57. I have it memorized. Page 57. This is a great exercise that you can do for yourself, but do it with your partner and then do it separately and then come together and compare. And as she said, see where it aligns. I'm telling you, when you have this roadmap of finding out what your own core values are, and then to see what your partner's is, this all comes together in terms of communicating. This all comes together in terms of connecting, because if you don't even know what is valuable to you, and you don't even know on top of that what is important to your partner, how are you expecting the best outcomes? How are you expecting to connect at the highest level if you don't even know what's important to you both? So get this book and do the exercise. I'm telling you, it's a simple thing that you guys could do. And then it just connects you and you have this greater appreciation where it also lends to finding out more about your partner and having that new discovery, like, wow, I didn't know that was important to you. And now that you have that tool, another thing that you can use to connect better and to have a greater understanding of how to communicate, it's just like, my gosh, it just makes the relationship have a deeper foundation and a better understanding and appreciation for your partner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Love all of that you said, Jen. Oh my gosh. Yes. All right. Number 3, so important as well. Take steps to work on communication. This is so important, and spend time communicating with each other. I think we forget a lot of times to communicate. And what does that mean? That means we can take time to chat. We can write letters. We can leave notes. Oh my God. I love little notes around the house, or in a book, or like on a pillow, or in a somewhere that person's going to find it, on the refrigerator. All so important. I used to do that for my mom. I used to do that for my mom and leave her notes around the house. And she would then, leave me a note saying, oh my gosh, that was so meaningful. It was great just to have a note from you. And you can do that with your partner. And you know what? What's even better is as partners, you have funnies, you have inside jokes that nobody knows about. You know what? Send a text with a little inside joke. Let me tell you, your partner will be laughing. It's a way to connect. Communicating is so important. Take time to reflectively listen. Take time to communicate and connect with each other and clearly understand what your partner's saying in relation to their body language, verbal cues, and their messaging, right? Also important. And then if you don't understand, what do? You ask for clarification. So don't be shy in asking for clarification or trying to repeat back what your partner was trying to say, because you want to make sure that you're clear, because sometimes that's where we make the mistake of getting things confused or jumping to conclusions when we don't have a clear understanding of what they were actually trying to say, and we come to our own conclusions. Jen?
I love the idea with little notes, Post-its, whatever format, medium. I would use a Sharpie and write on the mirror. I could do that as well and post it. So I've done all kind of variations. I even done it like if I'm on a getaway, on a weekend getaway, I will hide like the notes so that when my partner goes back, it's like, okay, they're unpacking, they find it. So like little things like that. It's so special and meaningful. And I love the inside joke thing. I'm laughing as you say, because I can even think in my own mind, like we have our own set of funny gifs and memes. It's like there's this running jokes that you both have together. And so humor is so important. You know, my partner even uses this phrase, comedy is, you know, is so important. And it's got this value to it because you can laugh about it together. It's your inside joke. It's that special thing that you have with one another. And, you know, and one last thing I will mention about communication is if you haven't read the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, that's another very, very powerful book to understand your own love language as well as your partner's. And so it breaks it down like, are you somebody who likes gifts? Are you somebody who needs words of affirmation? Are you somebody who values quality time with your partner? And of course, to some extent, you might have all of these different things, but these are just ways for you to understand who you are in terms of how do you receive love. That way, when you understand what your partner's love language is, you're speaking to them in the way they want to be spoken to. And so that just gives you a greater understanding of how to approach somebody. You know, here's an example. Let's say I'm not somebody that wants to hear all the details. I want you to get to the point. Yes. So you talk to those people like, oh, those are A-type personalities. Well, if you're that person that's dragging on and not getting to the point, you start to have that communication breakdown. Yeah. So it's that kind of idea and this understanding. So if you go back to step 2, understanding somebody's core values, making time, and then coming down to this step where you're trying to bridge this gap between the communication so that you're closer, you understand each other better and how one of you wants to speak to the other and how to receive that, you will just inevitably strengthen the communication and the connection with you and your partner.
Oh my gosh. I love all of these tips. I really like the tip about understanding the way your partner communicates. And I liked your example about telling every detail. And what that's called is circumstantial. So when you start at the beginning, you tell them every single step, and it's like,
get to the point.
Oh my God, it's only a minute. Yet other people like that. Or there are communicators that get really tangential. Women tend to shop this way. You know, there's always this funny of women like men going down the mall and coming back up, right? And they have this like goal. Women are like, I'm going to shoot into that store. I'm going to shoot into that store. That's kind of tangential. You're shooting all over the place, right? Yeah. And men do it too. Here's the thing. Lots of people don't like that tangential way of communication. They just want to be linear, right? So are you a linear communicator? Are you a tangential communicator? Are you a circumstantial communicator? So when you mentioned that, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many, it taps into my brain of there's so many ways we can communicate. And you're so right, Jen, when you know what ways your partner receives messages, tunes in, tunes out, you know how to have a better connection. With all that said, with these tips, make sure that you go and apply these tips because they're so important. We love talking to you about these tips, but go out and try them. See what happens.
Yes. So thank you for being here with us. We hope that this has been helpful. We hope that these tips are something that you can take and use and improve your relationship in however you see it's going to happen. And you know what? When you do, let us know in the comments below which one worked for you, which one has, improved everything for you. We'd love to hear what's happened, and make sure to like, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And lastly, if you really, really enjoy this video, make sure to click. We will have other videos coming up. Until next time, thanks for being here.